My name is Emily Carter, and the day my mother threw away my Columbia acceptance letter is the day my life quietly broke in half, and I didn't even know it. Growing up in Queens, New York wasn't glamorous. Mom and I shared a cramped one-bedroom apartment above a noisy laundromat. She worked two jobs, a waitress at a diner and a night cleaner at an office building. We never had enough money, but she always kept us afloat with sheer will. She always said, "Emily, don't dream too big. Life doesn't work that way for girls like us." But I did dream big, secretly. I wanted something beyond working-class survival. I wanted an education. I wanted a chance. So I applied to Columbia University behind her back. I wrote my personal essay late at night, sitting on the cold kitchen floor so the creaky bedroom door wouldn't wake her. I hid my SAT scores in a book she never opened. I paid the application fee using money I saved from babysitting. It was the boldest thing I had ever done. And then, one afternoon, the letter came. A thick, white envelope, heavy paper, a blue crest that practically glowed under the hallway light. My heart pounded so hard I could barely breathe. But before I could even open it, Mom appeared behind me. "What's that?" she asked sharply. I think it's from Columbia," I stuttered. Her face changed instantly. Something dark flickered behind her eyes. Without another word, she snatched the envelope from my hands. "Mom, that's mine." But she didn't listen. She tore the envelope open, glanced at the first line, her jaw tensed, and she threw the entire thing into the trash as if it were junk mail. My brain froze. "Mom, what was it?" "Nothing important," she said coldly. "Just garbage." She didn't even let me look. I was 17, scared, dependent. I didn't have the voice I have now. So I believed her. Or at least, I forced myself to believe her. For years. Life after high school wasn't glamorous either. While my classmates went off to universities, I stayed behind, taking community college classes part-time when I could afford them. I worked as a cashier, then as a receptionist, then as a clerk. I watched life happen for other people. And every time I passed Columbia campus on the subway, something twisted inside me, something painful and unanswered. But I never talked about that envelope. Not once. It was a shadow I carried quietly. Mom never mentioned it again. I assumed she had been right, that it really wasn't important. Until 14 years later. When Mom got sick, everything changed. I moved back temporarily to help her, cooking, cleaning, sorting her things. One day, while digging through the top shelf of her closet, I found a dusty brown box labeled in her handwriting, "Emily, school stuff." I smiled, expecting old report cards and childish drawings. But when I opened it, my smile vanished instantly. Inside were dozens of envelopes, college brochures, financial aid letters, application responses, all addressed to me. Many unopened, some opened, all hidden. My stomach dropped. Why would she hide my mail? Why would she hide this from me? And then, buried under the stack, I saw it. A thick, white envelope. Blue crest. My heart stopped instantly. Columbia University. My hands shook violently as I pulled it out. It was already torn open. Mom had opened it and kept it. Inside, on crisp letterhead, were the words I never got to read. "Dear Emily Carter, congratulations. We are pleased to offer you admission." I couldn't breathe. I dropped to my knees, choking on air, the letter shaking in my hands. For 14 years, I had believed I wasn't good enough. For 14 years, I had built a life on the idea that failure was normal. For 14 years, I had no idea I had been accepted into Columbia University. The opportunity of my life stolen. Behind me, I heard a whisper. "Emily, you weren't supposed to find that." Mom stood in the doorway, frail, clutching the doorframe. Her eyes were full of something between guilt and fear. I stood up slowly, trembling, furious, devastated. "Why?" I whispered. "Why would you hide this from me?" She looked away, her voice cracking. I was scared. Scared of what? Of me succeeding? "No," she whispered. "Scared of losing you." She sank onto the bed, tears forming. "You would have gone to Manhattan. You would have met new people. You would have left me. I couldn't handle it. I had no one else." I stared at her, stunned. "You stole my future because you wanted me nearby?" She nodded helplessly. "You're all I had." "But you took everything from me." Her silence was the closest thing to an admission of guilt. I walked out into the hallway, nearly collapsing. My mind replayed everything: the part-time jobs, the missed opportunities, the years of doubting myself, the life I could have had. I screamed into my hands, sobbing uncontrollably. She hadn't just hidden a letter. She had rewritten my entire life, and I had lived that rewritten version for 14 long years. For weeks, I couldn't talk to her, but eventually, slowly, painfully, I did. We sat in the living room, both fragile. "Mom," I said softly, "you can't change the past, but I need to understand it." She cried harder than I had ever seen. "I know I failed you," she whispered. "I thought I was protecting you, but it was selfish. I'm sorry, Emily. I really am." It didn't erase what happened, but for the first time in my life, she told me the truth. And that truth set something free inside me. Later, a friend encouraged me to meet with an academic advisor. He told me, "You're not too old. Columbia accepts non-traditional students all the time." It was the first time in years I felt a spark of hope. So I applied again, honestly, openly, without fear. Mom sat beside me at the kitchen table while I typed my essay. "I'll support you this time," she said softly, "no matter what happens." For the first time, I believed her. Months later, an email popped up. "Columbia University, application status update." My heart raced. My palms sweated. I clicked it, and there it was. "Congratulations, Emily Carter." I screamed, I laughed, I cried so hard I couldn't breathe. I ran to Mom's room. "Mom, I got in." She smiled, weak, guilty, but proud. "You deserve this. Go, Emily. Live the life you were meant to live, even if it took us 14 years to get here." I hugged her, truly hugged her, for the first time in a long, long time. Life doesn't always give you what you want when you want it, but sometimes it gives you a second chance. And this time, I wasn't going to let anyone take it away.